Earthly Powers by Anthony Burgess follows the story of Kenneth Toomey, an 81-year-old retired writer who grapples with a sense of artistic failure and isolation due to his homosexuality. Despite his commercial success, Kenneth believes he has not produced any significant literary work, leading to feelings of inadequacy. His homosexuality has severed his ties with his family and the church, leaving him feeling alone. Throughout the novel, Burgess draws a sharp contrast between Kenneth and Carlo Campanati, an optimistic priest from an affluent Italian family who seeks reform. While Kenneth embodies intense pessimism, Carlo exudes eternal optimism. The narrative begins with Kenneth waking up in bed with a young boy when he receives news that the Archbishop of Malta has come to visit him. After composing himself, Kenneth meets the Archbishop, who requests his testimony regarding a miracle performed by the recently deceased Carlo Campanati in Chicago. This miracle is crucial for Carlo's potential canonization. The remainder of the novel delves into Kenneth's reflections on past events, taking the reader on a journey through the 20th century. The narrative unfolds with Kenneth's early memories of coming to terms with his sexuality as a young writer. He confides in his sister, Hortense, who then divulges this information to their disapproving mother. Kenneth receives a strongly worded letter expressing her disappointment. Seeking solace, he considers turning to the church but faces rejection and chastisement after confessing his homosexuality to a priest. Feeling adrift without the support of family or the church, Kenneth realizes he must live a life that is authentic to his true self, even in the absence of external validation. In the midst of Kenneth's life journey, he engages in a romantic relationship with Rodney Selkirk, an actor performing in one of Kenneth's satirical plays in London. However, their intimate moment together is abruptly interrupted when Rodney's wife barges into the room, accompanied by 2 police officers. Kenneth is promptly arrested. Fearing the uncertain outcome of a trial, he chooses to leave England, consequently being unable to return home for many years. During Kenneth's absence, a deadly influenza outbreak ravages the world from 1917 to 1918, claiming the lives of both Rodney and Kenneth's mothers. In Paris, Kenneth's sister, Hortense, visits him and becomes infatuated with Domenico Campanati, the brother of Carlo and Raphael Campanati. Determined to win Domenico's affections, Hortense embarks on a seductive mission. By the year's end, they marry, and soon after, Hortense gives birth to twins. Meanwhile, Kenneth travels to Chicago, where Raphael resides and works as an Italian goods importer. Tragically, Raphael falls victim to a mob-related murder during Kenneth's stay. Carlo, devastated by the loss of his brother, rushes to the hospital but arrives too late. In his grief, Carlo wanders through the hospital corridors, crossing paths with Godfrey Manning, a teenager afflicted with a terminal case of tuberculosis. Touched by the boy's plight, Carlo offers his blessing, resulting in a miraculous recovery. The story spreads throughout the hospital and catches the attention of a doctor who writes about the incident. Witnessing this extraordinary event, Kenneth becomes a crucial figure as the Archbishop of Malta hopes for his testimony to support Carlo's canonization. The Archbishop desires Kenneth to validate the sighting, allowing the process of Carlo's sainthood to move forward. Throughout the novel, certain ironic situations arise in connection to Carlo's strong religious devotion. One such irony occurs when John, Hortense's son and the nephew of both Kenneth and Carlo, along with his wife Laura, travel to Rukwa to study African culture. Tragically, they are murdered and consumed by natives who have converted to Christianity and interpret the concept of consuming the body of Christ literally. In another twist of irony, Anne's daughter, Eve, and her husband have moved to a commune in the California desert led by the charismatic figure of God Manning, who bears resemblance to Jim Jones. A congressman arrives to investigate the commune but is fatally shot. Subsequently, the members of the commune consume cyanide and meet their demise. Astonishingly, the leader of the cult is the same individual whom Carlo miraculously saved in the hospital in Chicago years ago. By the end of the novel, Kenneth finds himself back in England, residing with his sister Hortense. He has finally come to accept his own homosexuality and reconcile with the judgment imposed upon him by his family and the church. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did and be sure to subscribe. Thank you.